KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years. Coming up now on KUAM News Primetime.
Lead in the waters of 2 local elementary schools test above Environmental Protection Agency limits. Tonight, the Guam Department of Education superintendent responding to the alarming test results.
One staffer under the Saipan Mayor's office has resigned due to what she described as an unsafe work environment where sexual harassment has become a routine and relentless problem. I'm Tomas Maglonia on Saipan with full story, speaking one-on-one with that staffer.
And about 100 soldiers from Guam's National Guard deployed to the Middle East to look at the send-off ceremony held over the weekend.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for starting your week here with us.
Well, Des, I think the talk was about the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets today. Did you catch it?
I didn't.
We have the results coming up, of course, with sports with a recap with our Jason Salas.
Yes.
But Taylor Swift couldn't shake off a chance to be there.
Oh my God. And I heard Miss Blake Lively was also there.
You know it. Other celebrities as well.
Yeah.
But we know you guys didn't come here for that. Let's get right to the news. Alarming levels now of lead were found in the waters of 2 Guam Department of Education elementary schools. This despite initial tests indicating low trace amounts of silent threat.
Tonight, GDOE Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson discusses the critical steps being taken to mitigate these concerning findings. It was just last week when the Guam Department of Education closed the tap on high levels of lead lurking in campus waters.
JMG and Mackinac is where we found lead low level, below any sort of threat, but we're going to retest.
Guam DOE Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson previously confirming with KUAM the initial testing by the Environmental Protection Agency did detect trace amounts of lead below EPA limits in the waters of Juanam Guerrero and Machinao elementary schools. However, a water analysis report from the Water Environment and Research Institute conducted earlier this month shows positive lead results in the cafeteria sink water at both schools. JMG and Machinao at 22.7 and 20.6 respectively, exceeding EPA's action level of 15 parts per billion. It's significant levels that Swanson says he just got the full report on top of hundreds of other tests for lead across 20 Guam DOE elementary campuses.
We've disconnected those completely. They're not connected to any water source, and now we're going back and evaluating the plumbing that leads up to those to see what else is there. But we're going to do more testing in all of our campuses. Again, we're using 3 different rounds over a period of about 2 months to see if there's any kind of trend data.
Swanson maintaining the lead-positive cafeteria sinks at both campuses are scrub sinks that students do not get water from. The GDOE superintendent maintains the cause may be from copper plumbing. According to the EPA on lead and copper, significant amounts of lead are seldom found in naturally occurring water sources. However, lead from pipes, faucets, and fixtures can dissolve into water and sometimes enter as flakes or particles.
The water we're getting from the Water Authority is pure. As far as I can tell, I think that the 2 devices that we disconnected, that the cause was actually in the copper plumbing that's part of the sink itself, and we're switching ours all to plastic.
Its subsequent action to include more testing that also calls for notifying both school communities this time around.
We did make that information available to the families, and it's interesting too that on a different test, they came in at a lower level that was below the threshold, and that was the initial one that I had seen. So that's why we're going back and retesting yet again.
Swanson contends all water fountains and bottle refill stations have been tested and are safe, adding trace amounts listed in the recent WERI report are less than 1 point. Meantime, he says hundreds of tests for lead were done across 20 Guam DOE schools. As Guam DOE plans to have Weary reconduct those tests, still no word yet on when this will be underway.
Now to an update to the government of Guam's health insurance plan. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration reaching an agreement with FHP Health Center to be an in-network provider for the new self-insured health plan. A news release issued today stating Select Care, as the third-party administrator, will continue to pay this provider for plan benefits for medical and pharmacy charges, and Netcare will administer dental benefits. Adelup noting that includes FHP in the self-insured plan will enable plan members to hold appointments with FHP health providers and facilities to maintain those appointments and receive continuity of medical care. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio stating, quote, "Our switch to self-insurance has been motivated by our desire to provide employees with health insurance through trusted healthcare providers and a broad range of professionals from whom to choose." He adds, "We're pleased that families familiar with the FHP network will now have the option to stay with their preferred physicians, ensuring continuity of care and the seamless transition into this new insurance model." The self-insured plan offers wide access to medical providers in Guam, the U.S. mainland, the Philippines, and other locations.
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP recipients, may have seen a couple dollars more to their benefits yesterday. The Department of Public Health and Social Services says it's due to a slight increase in both the income limit per household as well as the maximum amount of benefits a SNAP household will receive. It went into effect at the start of fiscal year 2024, which was yesterday, October 1st. Take a look at the table on your screen right now for that change. A household of one seeing a $15 more in benefits to a household of seeing $71 more. The increases are a result of cost of living adjustments announced by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to SNAP allotments, income eligibility standards, and deductions. Beginning the start of true cost of living allowance adjustments for Government of Guam retirees. That's what Senator Talo Taidogui says her bill aims to provide in a renewed push to increase COLA payments. Mitsuki Hirayama has more.
With prices on the rise, how can the government of Guam ensure their retirees receive a decent standard of living?
As the cost of goods and services increase over time, retirees face many challenges in maintaining a quality standard of living on fixed income. Without regular adjustments to their retirement benefits, retirees may struggle to make ends meet.
For Senator Talo Taidogui, the solution begins with implementing a cost of living adjustment formula based on the Consumer Price Index and not leaving it to the whims of politicians. It's what her proposal, Bill 2, seeks to do.
Under this substituted bill, the COLA adjustment formula would be based on the percentage change in the CPI over the previous year. For an example, if the CPI increased by 2% over the previous year, the COLA adjustment for retirees would be 2%.
The Legislative Committee on General Government Operations and Appropriations holding a roundtable discussion early Monday with a panel of economic experts to improve the measure. One question raised: how to ensure its sustainability. University of Guam economics professor Dr. Roseanne Jones.
When you set policy, you want to make sure that when that cycle changes, you don't have a policy that's out of date with another point in time. So we like to look at what are we putting in place and be careful about what you put in place today, that it's going to be enduring.
She says even with the current pressure from the rising cost of goods and utilities, it's important to ensure the set increases are affordable and the policy is fluid. Meanwhile, attorney Michael Phillips proposing a simplified version with a look at prior attempts.
My recommendation to start, senators, is my recommendation is simple, and I think the programs are simple. And everybody who speaks, and especially from their areas, I agree with. But I think if you start with the 1988 program that we had, which is close to, at that time, a mirror of the federal program, maybe even a mirror of what you have in Hawaii, that's a start. And in that case that I brought, there were many valid criticisms, I think.
It's past criticism he hopes senators iron out before the measure heads to session floor. Meantime, the bill will continue to be amended with input from experts. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Mitsuki. With one crisis averted, another is just beginning in Washington for the House Speaker, who's learning the price for making a deal to keep the government open could be his job. The temporary fixes to avoid a shutdown is just that. Julie Sirkin has more from Capitol.
With the government shutdown averted for now, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is facing a new challenge tonight.
I do intend to file a motion to vacate against Speaker McCarthy this week.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz threatening to trigger a vote to remove McCarthy. That move comes after Congress reached a last-minute deal.
The bill is passed.
Just before the midnight deadline, President Biden signing a bill to keep government open for the next 45 days. Without money for Ukraine, the southern border, or a plan to fund the federal government for the next year.
The brinkmanship has to end, and there shouldn't be another crisis.
Speaker McCarthy's last-ditch effort passing both chambers with more support from Democrats than members of his own party. McCarthy's job now on the line.
I'll survive. If he's upset because he tried to push us in a shutdown and I made sure government didn't shut down, then let's have that fight.
And so if Democrats want to own Kevin McCarthy by bailing him out, I can't stop him, but then he'll be their speaker, not mine.
But Gaetz has gone across the aisle in search of votes.
Would you vote to get rid of McCarthy as Speaker?
Would I cast that vote? Absolutely.
Most Republicans coming to the Speaker's defense.
We just put a two-party solution on the floor. It passed. It saved America. It saved our country from a shutdown. Are we going to reward that kind of behavior for the future, or are we going to punish it?
What do you make of Congressman Gaetz?
Well, I think he's just a thorn in the side of America. I don't view him as somebody who's serious about governing.
Meanwhile, McCarthy is calling for Congressman Jamal Bowman to face punishment. Republicans are accusing the New York Democrat of pulling a fire alarm on Capitol Hill to delay the funding vote. Bowman denying it was intentional.
Well, Guam Delegate James Moylan also responded to the federal government shutdown being averted for now. Moylan stating the continuing resolution presented by Speaker Kevin McCarthy was a compromise as it maintained funding levels for 45 days. While some Democrats expressed their disappointment in not having funding for Ukraine, it was articulated throughout the morning that the priority needs to be the U.S. federal government prior to foreign governments. He added, the federal funding provided to Guam, including compensation for our service members, will remain intact. Those federal services which would have been either delayed or postponed due to the employees or programs being deemed as non-essential would remain status quo. We are now awaiting the decision of the Senate. This is a clean resolution with the replenishment of the Disaster Relief Fund, hence there is some optimism, but we shall see. The congressman adding one of those measures passed late Thursday night was the House Appropriations Defense Bill, which included his amendment to increase the funding of the Guam Missile Defense by an additional $100 million.
Over in federal court, the feds recently intercepting more than 8 pounds of marijuana in the mail. Unsealed search warrants out of the District Court of Guam show 2 packages were sent through the U.S. Post Office from an address in Seattle, Washington. The items were marked to be delivered to an address in Tumuning. In total, investigators were able to seize 1,580 grams of marijuana in one parcel and more than 2,500 grams in the second one. No one has been charged yet in connection to the case.
Well, another high-profile attorney is speaking out against the Guam Attorney General. Attorney Peter Santos with the alternate Public Defender's Office responding to AG Doug Moylan's comments after acting Chief Prosecutor Heather Zona resigned.
Ms. Zona is a hero. She stood up for what's called the moral imperative. And it takes a lot of courage and bravery to do what she did. And when I read the letter, it's been circulating. It wasn't disrespectful. It was very informative to AG Moylan about the very serious issues that were of great concern to her. And his reaction is just, you know, it's all deflection. It's all excuses. It's all, you know, he's on the defensive about it.
The outgoing chief prosecutor's reason for leaving made public after her resignation letter leaked to local media last week, which reportedly points the finger to Moylan's management style and accuses him of unethical behavior. Santos says it's behavior that he's foreseen, prompting him to run as a write-in during last year's Attorney General's race. He's since announced his bid for AG in the next election.
The common denominator is the word toxic. Like, he doesn't like to hear that word. He doesn't believe that it applies to him, but it's exactly, what applies to him. And toxic people don't recognize that they're toxic. There's 6 people at least I know that have hired attorneys to sue for wrongful termination against the AG. When he forces you or tries to force you to do something illegal or unethical and you won't, and then he fires you, that's wrongful termination.
Appointing Government Corruption Division's acting Deputy Gloria Lujan Rudolph as the new acting chief prosecutor on Friday.
2 people are rushed to the hospital after a crash in Sanahania midday today. It happened at 11:23 this morning along Route 4 near Ada's funeral home. Officers with the Guam Police Department were on scene as the crash temporarily stalled traffic for drivers heading through there. Units with the Guam Fire Department had to use the jaws of life to get one driver out of the car. Guam Fire Department spokesperson Nick Garrido saying that woman was taken to Naval Hospital after suffering serious injuries. The driver of the other car was taken to the Guam Memorial Hospital, their conditions not yet made public. A man rushed to the hospital following a serious early morning crash in Anigua is in stable condition. It happened around 3 a.m. Saturday along Route 1 Marine Corps Drive in front of 76 gas station in Anigua. Units with the Guam Fire Department had to use the jaws of life to extract a woman who was driving a white Kia Sportage and a man who was behind the wheel of a silver Mitsubishi Outlander. Officials say both were responsive at the scene. The man was taken to Naval Hospital after suffering serious injuries, but again, he is said to be stable. The woman was treated for her injuries at the Guam Memorial Hospital and was released that morning. The Guam Police Department is investigating the cause of the crash. Well, we'll have more news after the break. Keep it here.
You're watching KUAM.
Watch KUAM TV 8 live on Peacock. Check out our live channel, NBC shows, live sports original programming, movies, plus so much more. Visit peacocktv.com/local or download the app and subscribe today.
There it is. My dad went EV.
It's electric. Don't be shocked.
The guy who's walked out of his email is going EV. Ooh, nice car.
Actually, it's an EV. Rhymes with Kev. Look. EVIP parking.
I get it. You think they don't charge fast enough or go far enough.
Up to 80% charge in 18 minutes. Range? Heck, we could go to Mexico.
Are you Kevin Bacon?
But EVs aren't going to stop being a thing. Look at the Ioniq 6.
Maca mushroom frap for Kevin.
So just make the leap already.
Okay, watch this. Blue or red? Blue light, red light. I can also make it play nature sounds if you want.
Let's just drive.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
This burger looked at one slice of melted cheese and said, more cheese. It looked at pickles and said, also onions. It wanted to be more than hot. It wanted to be juicy. This is the Quarter Pounder with cheese. If you thought one napkin for the Quarter Pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to Prime Time. A grants writer accuses a high-ranking official at the Saipan mayor's office of sexual harassment. She has resigned due to the alleged misconduct against her.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia sits down with a staff member speaking out.
A grants writer working at the Saipan mayor's office is speaking out about the reason behind her sudden resignation last Friday after 6 months on the job. In her resignation letter, Marian Borja Areola says the mayor's office is an unsafe work environment where sexual harassment has become a routine and relentless problem.
3 days after I started, when I came across with the perpetrator and we shook hands, I was flabbergasted when he tickled my palms. That's like actually asking for sexual favor, and I was shocked, and I got scared, and then I just ignored it because, maybe he was just joking, but I found that to be very inappropriate and unwelcome. And then as the months goes by, I noticed that it's a pattern of behavior. His misconduct, it was just so, too extreme, to the point where every time I would go out with the chief of staff to go on breaks, he would constantly, leer at me, stare at me, making comments about my appearance, as well as also telling me about sexual stuff.
She's not naming the high-ranking official in the mayor's office who allegedly harassed her due to the ongoing investigation.
I was just so disgusted.
She wrote in her resignation letter that she has been subjected to unwanted advances, vulgar jokes, and inappropriate comments on numerous occasions. She says Human Resources took no action after she reported the incidents. She said she offered office managers some options to improve the culture.
In order for me to continue working for the mayor's office is to just abide by the conditions, which, to try and come up with a no sexual harassment policy. For instance, for the mayor's office to have a clear code of ethics policy to be followed regarding the prevention of harassment. Also, HR policy should be devised to cope up with the challenge and to punish the accused employees when crime committed, and or provide sexual harassment and abusive conduct prevention training to all employees. And the last one I asked was the policy should be symbolized to add to the subconscious mind of the male employees. That is to create posters showing up sexual harassment is a crime and strictly prohibited in a workplace, and to be posted inside the office memo boards.
She's currently looking for an attorney and has reported the incidents to the Department of Public Safety, Office of Personnel Management, Office of the Public Auditor, and Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
This has tremendously impacted me mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and it's just so hard on me.
In response to the allegation, the mayor's office chief of staff Priscilla Jacopo said, quote, "Let me be very clear. The mayor's office does not condone nor tolerate sexual harassment in the workplace, or any form of harassment for that matter, wherever they may occur. The mayor's office has a zero-tolerance policy against sexual harassment, and we strive each and every day to ensure a safe working environment for all our employees. Our HR office works tirelessly day in and day out to ensure that our work environment is one that is free from any harassment, intimidation, or discrimination." Tomas Manglonia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Former President Donald Trump fundraising off the start of his civil fraud trial, with multiple sources saying he's expected to be in court for its first day. He's facing allegations he lied about just how much his business was worth, a judge said he did.
And now this trial could determine whether Mr. Trump loses control over some of his most famous properties. George Solis has details.
On the campaign trail and on the offensive.
My financial statements are much lower than the actual net worth. This judge and your fake Attorney General of New York, she ought to be ashamed. Did you not overvalue your... Hello, Iowa.
But today, former President Donald Trump not directly addressing the start of his civil fraud trial tomorrow. Sources telling NBC News Mr. Trump is expected to be in the courtroom for the first 2 days. A judge last week ruling that Mr. Trump and his associates committed real estate fraud for years. The judge writing that Trump's legal arguments defending his financial statements are, quote, a fantasy world, not the real world, adding that over and undervaluing assets to his benefit, quote, can only be considered fraud. The trial is expected to determine the future of the Trump Organization, including his real estate empire, as well as any fines for the alleged fraud. What are the implications of this civil fraud trial for Mr. Trump?
Well, if he loses, and the reason why he's apparently coming here tomorrow is because he doesn't want to lose, and this is how important it is. If he has to pay $250 million, if he and his sons can no longer conduct business in New York, that's a fatal blow.
Mr. Trump has denied all wrongdoing and has called the judge in the case deranged. Trump faces 4 criminal trials, including 2 at the federal level, 1 in Georgia and another in New York State. The witness list in the case includes some of Trump's children and former business associates, including his former attorney, Michael Cohen.
This is the first time in his entire life that he is going to be held accountable and have to deal with the repercussions of his own personal actions.
Well, a hero send-off held over the weekend. About 100 soldiers with the Guam Army National Guard left their loved ones to deploy to the Middle East. That's where they will spend the next year. On Saturday, a special ceremony was held in their honor, with military leaders letting the troops know their families will be cared for while they are away.
Family and friends of the Isuzu Company's 1st 294th Infantry Regiment Chamurai Battalion watch as their soldiers get ready to head out for deployment. Command Sergeant Major Celso Leonin speaking directly to them during a send-off ceremony held at the Teason High Gym Saturday.
We're going to need more of your support in this time of this deployment. You've sacrificed a lot, you put in a lot of time and effort, but we're going to extremely need your help to continue to support your soldiers.
About 100 soldiers with the Guam National Guard set off on a 1-year deployment in the Middle East to participate in Operation Spartan Shield. According to the military, the operation is underway to build partner capacity in the Middle East to promote regional self-reliance and increase security.
And I just want you to know, okay, Captain Padilla, First Sergeant, you have your NCOs. You guys are in good hands. You're in good hands. Soldiers of our company, take care of each other, because that's all you got. That's all you got. Stay focused on what you guys are going to do out there. That's your mission. And stay focused. Don't worry. Your family programs about your families here. They will be taken care of.
The support highlighted during the ceremony. The Guard members will spend a couple of weeks preparing in Fort Bliss, Texas, before heading to the Middle East. Guam Guard Chief of Staff Colonel Sheila Compton-Revo spoke on the importance of the deployment.
This mission reinforces the importance of the Guam National Guard on the world stage. America depends on you to live up to your oath, to conduct yourselves in keeping with the highest standards, and to perform as the greatest military the world has ever known.
A military mission that includes each one of them safely returning home.
Your professional growth as the future of this organization will be the biggest return on the investment of this deployment. I want all of you to bring the lessons learned and experience gained back home with you to improve our organization in our mission to defend Guam.
Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Mesa echoing that confidence for our troops.
I'm confident that the Isuzu Company will represent the Chamurai Battalion, Guam National Guard, on the island of Guam well in the next year. The next time we will see them will be at their welcome home ceremony a year from now. So to the families and employers, thank you for your continued support to our soldiers. Without you and your support, we couldn't do what we need to do.
Island leaders, including Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, also attended the ceremony.
I want just to take a time to say how strategic it is for you to be playing this role at this time. As Colonel Compton-Revo told you, the focus of the world and its security is shining very bright on this part of the world, and in particular on our island.
While the soldiers showed confidence in the mission they will undergo for their island, Command Sergeant Major Leonin also recognized Sergeant Steve Tapasnea at the ceremony, all offering a moment of silence for his brother Dave, who recently died in a car crash in Sinahanya.
Steve's brother passed away a few days ago. So if you don't mind, he was also a soldier of the Guam National Guard at one point. So please take a few minutes and just say a little prayer for that service member. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Condolences.
The end of September marked the finale for National Preparedness Month. An event was held at the Agana Shopping Center Saturday, and this month is observed to raise awareness about the importance of preparing for disasters and emergencies that could happen at any time. This year's theme was Take Control in 1, 2, 3, with focus on preparing the elderly for disasters, and attendees were able to check out displays and exhibits along with winning prizes during the event. Guam Homeland Security spokesperson Jenna Blas.
Our office was very busy for the whole month of September, but we were able to incorporate some National Preparedness Month initiatives. We hosted a few outreach initiatives. We even held a senior leadership workshop most recently, Typhoon Maiwar related, where we conducted after action reports and went over what went well and what didn't. So there was a lot of opportunity throughout the whole month to talk about National Preparedness Month, all the while still recovering from Typhoon Maiwar.
What do you think was the biggest lesson for you?
Well, from the communication side, obviously we're looking at different ways to get information out to the public, a little bit more low tech in the event that all communications go down. So we're looking at different avenues to get information out to the community, and it's really about incorporating other partners as part of our communications plan. We're looking forward to doing that in the future.
Anything else that the public should know, since the month may be over, but the preparedness never stops?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we promote. Although National Preparedness Month is all month long, we encourage the community to participate in their preparedness activities for the entire year. You just never know when a disaster can happen or strike. We're actually looking forward to next month is also Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So we'll be pushing out a lot of different initiatives. We're not only concerned with natural hazards, but man-made threats as well.
Guam Homeland also announced FEMA and the Federal Communications Commission will conduct a nationwide test of the emergency alert system this Thursday, October 5th at 4:20 a.m. Officials say the EAS is used by alerting authorities to send warnings via broadcast, cable, satellite, and wireline communication pathways. Guam and the CNMI will receive the EAS message via television and radio. The public is being told this test is not conducted to any actual emergency. University of Guam students in Professor Ronald Uggin's class are gearing up for an informative forum this week that is set to cover two very important topics: climate change and gender equality.
Jonah Goncharfers has more on how and why you should take part.
For the past 6 weeks, the 22 University of Guam students in Professor Ronald Uggin's Master of Public Administration's PA 530, Public Personnel, Disciplinary, and Performance Management, have been hard at work putting together a forum focusing on two current hot topics on island. MPA candidate Joey Lopez Jr. is a chairperson of the forum.
For this specific forum, we are talking about the National Association of Public Policy and Administration, the NASPA accrediting body, which the University of Guam's Master of Public Administration class is accredited. So this year's theme for their conference in October is on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
There are 17 in total, and as much as they wanted to touch on all of them, the class agreed on gender equality and climate change, which they felt are very important topics to the island community. The forum will be in two parts, the first being gender equality, its theme, Famalawan, Changing the Tides of Patriarchy. MPA candidate Yolanda Tapasna.
It's kind of a, notably a play on words in that we are a matriarchal society here on the island, like other neighboring islands. However, in line of your advancement through college, advanced degrees, going into careers, it's kind of not driving that way. So we want to bring some light to that. We got a heavy-hitting lineup.
The panel for this part of the forum includes UOG President Dr. Anita Borja Enriquez, UOG's Dr. Gina Rojas, Dr. Roseanne Jones, and Director of Department of Revenue Tax, Daphne Ansapat Shimizu, to name a few. The second forum, highlighting climate change, has a panel that consists of Lieutenant Governor of Guam, Dr. Austin Shelton, UOG Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant Director, and more.
I think everybody would really like to know, just in terms of, as we're still in the recovery from Super Typhoon Maiwar, what is going on with this climate? Why is it so hot? Why does it feel like the ocean is hotter? These are issues that we have to talk about, Joan, and that is really the driving force behind this.
The two-part forum will take place on Wednesday, October 4th at the UOG School of Business and Public Administration Building, room 131. From 3:30 to 6 p.m. will be gender equality, and from 6:30 to 9, in the eye of the storm, climate change. You can also watch the forum via Zoom, and you can find that link on KUAM.com.
We just really want our community to be engaged. We want to talk about these relevant issues so that they're not a secret. And if they're uncomfortable for some people to talk about, we want to break that mold. We want to change the paradigm of sorts. And we want to talk about empowering women and that next generation. We want to talk about the harsh realities of climate change. And we feel what better platform than the university, where we can invite these professionals and put them on a neutral platform where everybody can say what they want to say.
Jonah Charfris, KM News.
Thanks, Joan. Well, it's an annual donation made by the P.D. Hemlani Foundation to benefit Guam Department of Education special needs students. The foundation gifting 10 iPads to assist students and their families in their educational journeys. It's all in honor of philanthropist P.D. and Roddy's granddaughter, Sharina J. Hemlani, who too was a special needs student. GDOE Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson on the generous gesture today.
Oh, I just think this is a marvelous example of community support that we have for all of our students. It takes so many more resources than we have as an agency, a public agency, and this family is one of the ones that has stood up with us for a long time to provide resources for underserved. That's their target, is underserved populations, and that's just something that I can't overemphasize the value, especially for the kids. And the thing that's significantly different in terms of the actual item is it's theirs. They keep it. And everything we have is public property. It has to be inventoried, turned back in, and those sorts of things. So this is something that they can take and use for years.
This assistive technology will benefit each student's social welfare, educational, and health needs.
Wow, what an incredible way to give back there. Well, it was a sold-out event that took over the entire lobby of the Hyatt Regency Guam. On Saturday evening, Wine Fest 2023 had many wine connoisseurs and foodies flocking to the Tumon Hotel to experience over 200 wines from all over the world. I know you're thirsty already, Des.
Ooh.
This coming from Australia, France, California, and Chile. Brands also featured include Kendall Jackson, La Crema, Robert Mondavi, and more. To go along with the array of wines, those in attendance enjoyed delicious sweets and savory offerings prepared by executive chef Mirko Agostini and team. The event, which also highlighted Hyatt's 30th anniversary, took up not only the lobby but also Cafe Kitchen, the lounge, and Al Dente. The night had live entertainment as well as Jack Larimer and the All-Star Band featuring Patrick Palomo and Joy Adams.
Awesome. All right, and now for something awesomer. Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured overlooking the cliffside at Two Lovers Point.
This view plus more tomorrow music streaming now on Isla Digital Radio.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, We work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York-style pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. Handmade to perfection on a crust that's 30% larger than our large. It's just $11.99 per carryout. Classic New York-style pizza, only at your island Pizza Hut.
Performing out of space?
Yes, next July.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I can't change these plans.
We're stealing in the sun next summer. Heist of a lifetime.
Les Olympics.
Come on, you in?
Roman Reigns will defend his title against anyone, anytime. Except next July.
They tap it on the play, fake the pass, sitting down the wing, boom, brings it up the top of the road. We got Papa on the we are seeing the players, still 0-0. He's got John Boone, Ratu, spin. Oh, down the wing, cut down the middle. Evan down the sideline. Good move for Ruben to stop.
All right, everybody, you watched it live on KUAM TV8 or streamed it on Peacock. The defending world champs Kansas City Chiefs survive a rally in the Big Apple. The Jets came to play today. You know, credit to Zach Wilson. He played really, really good, but the Chiefs come away with the victory. They are now 3-1. They win 23-20. And yes, everybody, I know you're thinking about it. Taylor Swift was in attendance. Put it this way. She got more camera time than Chris Jones, and that dude went to the Pro Bowl. Taylor Swift was all over there, so I know all you Swifties are losing your minds. Good for you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I know good for you is an Olivia Rodrigo song, but whatever. All right. Travis Kelce unfortunately did not score, but you know what? Big game for Patrick Mahomes today. Good game today on KUAM TV. Remember, next week, big game too. Niners and Cowboys. You guys are going to want to watch that one.
Okay, here we go, everybody. My big question for National Weather Service meteorologist Landon Eidlet is, what do weather watchers tend to eat for breakfast and everything? Breakfast being the most important meal of the day, and you guys get up really, really early. So what gets you ready for an entire day of analyzing charts, making forecasts, and basically telling us what happens? Okay.
Cannot go wrong with coffee. I used to do a pot a day by 9 o'clock in the morning before I even leave home. So coffee fuels the meteorologist.
Okay. I was thinking maybe link sausage, maybe like a good, like macadamia nut pancake and everything. That's straight up coffee. That works.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the sausage, the chorizo, or even beef tapa and eggs. That's my favorite.
That'll put you to sleep. I mean, but I think it's offset by the effects of the caffeine. All right. So what does your highly caffeinated state right now lead us to believe about what we can expect with the weather this week, man?
Yeah, the weather's going to be interesting over the next 24 hours. We're looking at mostly fair conditions outside. We've had some spotty showers pass over the islands. If you're out there driving in the morning rush hour, you saw some of the showers were pretty heavy for a brief period, but then they just zip right on by. So they're small in coverage, but they can drop that heavy rainfall for a few moments. But we're going to zoom out and show you what's over there to our east. Lots of weather coming in. And is this anything that we're concerned about as far as tropical weather? No, that is not the case. This is more of a surface trough, but at the same time, we have this upper level trough and upper level disturbance that's pushing through. And so if you see all the yellow, those are lightning strikes. I'm going to turn the radar down. Look at all that lightning to our east. That's all coming our way. And so what happens is when you have these surface features, they can generate weather and showers and thunderstorms on their own. But when you have the upper level divergence, those winds moving apart, that's where the magic happens. And so you have the winds converging at the surface. So when you have that convergence, the winds converge, they go up. But when you have that divergence overhead, it allows the air particles to move apart. And so it's like a funnel. And so you have the showers coming, the convergence at the surface, it comes up. You get that upward motion. That's where you get the clouds, the showers, and the thunderstorms. And the stronger the upward motion, the higher these clouds get. And that's where we get the lightning potential. And so that's what we're dealing with over here. And so all of this is going to be coming in, moving westward. So we're going to probably see an uptick in showers and thunderstorms as we go through the day. Will it be a washout? That's not likely to be the case, but we could see those brief periods of heavy showers and some thunderstorms. So remember, when thunder roars, get indoors.
Get indoors. Something that you've taught us and something I practice all the time.
Yeah, when you hear thunder, you are in danger of being struck by lightning, and so don't risk it. That's my biggest fear, is being out there, even walking to the car from the grocery store during a thunderstorm. Don't risk it. Stay inside for a few more minutes, or sit in your car for a few more minutes until it passes. But once this all passes by, it's not so bad for the rest of the week. We are in a wet pattern, and there have been threats and rumors of tropical cyclones moving through the area. We were watching an Invest area, which is now somewhere down southwest of Winnochuk. That was originally Invest 94W near Madro several days ago. Then that was canceled. And then another Invest was open, which when we say Invest, we just mean it's an area of investigation by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center to put more assets on monitoring and observing the conditions there over that disturbance.
I think that's an interesting distinction to make, man, because, like now what I've learned from you is the context of it. When you say invest, you're typically talking about some weather anomaly. When you say invest, that's probably some banker like making something about about stock prices. So when you seriously, when you hear that word, everybody, like that's really good things to know about whether financial opportunities are doing good, or maybe whether maybe not so good.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so every typhoon starts as an investigation, starts as a disturbance, but not every invest area becomes a typhoon. So keep that in mind. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center opens up well over 100 invest areas every year, but only a fraction of those become tropical storms or typhoons.
While you've been waiting to see if EVs are a thing, my dad went electric.
Up to 360 miles on a single charge.
And if my dad's on board, yours could be next.
You know, I'm doing this for the next generation.
Dad, we are not having the grandkids conversation again.
No, I'm just saying EVs are good for any generation. Or all generations. Generationally good.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
Did you know up to 40% of our food supply goes to waste? That's also a waste of energy and water. An easy way to make a difference is to only buy food you know you'll use. And remember, eat those leftovers. The more you know.
This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. Only at KFC Guam. Whoops. Well, it is finger-licking good.
Infectious disease transmission prevention in the workplace. It's not if. It's when. Are you ready? Be prepared. VIA Hawaii is offering free training for workers and employers.
Magnum.
Magnum. Magnum.
Who are you?
Austin. Austin Powers.
Doing what I do. It's risky.
You're gonna need all the help you can get.
What took you so long?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
And when you least expect it, everything can change.
Thomas, I'm late.
Magnum PI. Wednesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
You helped us in our times of greatest need.
Transfer Station and EPAL Point have been deeply affected by Typhoon Mawar. Stay beautiful, Bob.
Your life will never be the same.
Welcome to Today. So good to have you with us.
This should be fun.
Yes! This is gonna change our lives.
And here we go. Terrific Sunday night game so far. Add this one to it. Oh my goodness. For the touchdown.
Welcome back. It's fall premiere season. Here's a first look at the new NBC drama Found, which premieres Wednesday night on NBC TV8 and on Peacock.
The new drama airs at 9 p.m. immediately following The Voice. Check it out.
Take a good, long look at my face, because I'm coming for you. I've been trying to find you.
It's like she disappeared into thin air.
Nobody saw this person.
We won't rest until we have answers.
Thank you for not forgetting about me. This is why there will always be a need for what I do. We find missing people who have slipped through the cracks, and we bring them home. Found is the procedural you didn't know you needed. With each life I save, I heal just a little more.
It has more mystery, it has more intrigue, it has these things that seem familiar and yet they are not.
Nothing is as it seems. These girls were taken together. Gabby Mosley and her team at Mosley & Associates will do whatever it takes to get the people and to find them. We will not leave a single stone unturned. She puts this group together that has the same passion for finding missing people.
Every single person in this office, you found them at their worst and you gave them purpose.
Each of them has their own story of either having been abducted, having a child abducted, or being missing in action.
We are a part of the team that is bringing people home, and we have trauma that we haven't shared completely.
Every episode, you're peeling back the mystery that is Gabby Mosley. She was drawn to save people because no one was looking for her.
Would you like a friend?
Sir is the person who abducted Gabby when she was younger.
Sir decides to hold her captive and mentor her and challenge her intellectually because he feels that she's a brilliant mind. We cut to the present and we find out a little secret that Gabby has been keeping.
You think Gabby Mosley is the cat's meow and she's got it all together until...
Well, let's just say who's hiding in the basement.
We make quite the partnership, don't we?
We're not partners.
The roles have been reversed a bit. Sir would like to think that he's in control, but Gabby has him locked in her basement.
You get to see who Gabby became after that abduction and taking what she believes as her life back in a very real way.
You will pay for all the pain you caused. You don't deserve redemption. You're a monster.
We have an epidemic of missing people in this country.
60% of them are children of color. These are stories that you're not used to seeing. These are stories that are not used to being told.
Oh my God, please, I got you. I got you. In order to get the results we want at the end, to save these people and bring them back to their lives safely, you have to go against the grain.
Where is the line?
There is no line.
I'm walking away before I find out what illegal thing you're gonna do with all that info.
We need to find Sasha or Manny before he does.
You really do wear an invisible cape.
Trust me, I know. There is life after the hurt. You will think that you're watching a show that's just about finding missing people.
I'm not the monster you think I am.
Only to find you yourself are part of this journey.
I owe Gabby Mosley and her team my life.
Okay, everybody, October 14th is a big day. That's a Saturday, and we want to encourage you to please help out with National Period Day. It's a nonprofit organization, Be Heartfelt. Our friends over there, Lori Marsh Marble, they're holding a period supply kit drive from October to the 14th through the 19th. They are asking in earnest for sanitary pads, kit bags, sanitizer, hard candies, and underwear. There are girls who face period poverty that have challenges accessing menstrual hygiene products, and of course, we need to support them. It's the island way. We support our women, and we love all of our females, and we stand by them. All right, we will support them. Walk with GRMC is happening every Thursday from 10 to 11 at the center court of the Micronesia Mall. I did a story on this, you may recall, a couple weeks ago. Super fun event. Please make time and get involved with this because you are going to have a blast. There are beginning stretches and warm-up activities as well as a cool-down routine. You are really going to enjoy it. You know, take your grandma. Like, there's a lot of Manumco that go there. They will tell you some amazing stories too. So again, at the Micronesia Mall Center Court, 10 to 11 every Thursday. And from October 5th through the 5th, the Bud Light Luta Fishing Derby will be held up in Rhoda, of course, at the West Marina Harbor. Fee is $150 and there are limited boating slips, so please make sure to register today. That is what's happening, and that is awesome, and that is what we do here on News Bites.
Thanks, Jace. Well, it's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday on the 2nd of October going out to Aiden Lakes, and happy birthday, baby boy. Your family and your friends and your neighbors and everybody says we love you. Bella Borja also celebrates a birthday today, and happiest of birthdays to Bella. Welcome home, and cheers to more adventures you come. Enjoy, your loved ones say, and they say, fittingly, we love you. And you know what? A belated birthday, vroom vroom, our own Eric Cruz, our own speed racer here within our walls. He's awesome. He competed for us last year in Smoking Wheels. Well, this year, technically. And Eric is a wonderful member of our family, and he's probably watching this right now because he works up in Master Control. Super cool guy, and he's probably laughing. But Eric, shout out to you, and we hope you have a fantastic birthday.
Yeah, he is. Happy birthday, Eric. He's in my ear. How much time do we have? You got time? Okay.
It's birthday time.
Happy birthday to all of you celebrating out there. That's your primetime show. But first,